Can you see that? How the 2H looks darker? And the F. So you really have to work with it in practice so you make sure that you don't grab the wrong one. Okay, now I'm going to use the HB. I'm going to use this other pencil to write that because it's much harder lead. Okay, so we're using the HB. I'm holding it way back here so you can see. And bring it over this way. I'm not pressing hard. I'm just letting it glide right across. Keep going. Okay, so there's that one. Then we're going to do it again, and we're going to go across this direction about halfway. So you can get that closer. You see the difference? You can see the difference from this one to that one. And it's good to have this when you're working on your paper. Say there's a really expensive paper that you want to use, and you want to use the graphite pencils for this. Let me make sure I have the right one here before I go on. F, yes. Oh wait, yeah, I did that right. It says 4H. I don't have a 4H in here. I have the 2H and I have the 6H because this 4H I didn't have. I went and bought a 6H. I don't know why I didn't have that pencil in there. I guess it was supposed to be in there, but it wasn't. Okay, so we did the HB, and now we're going to do the B. So here's the B. If you guys get tired of this music, please let me know. I'll change the station to something else. I don't mind changing it. Okay, so this is my B, and I'm using Pandora right now, so. Alright, so I'm going to use my B, and I'm going to do the same thing. Hopefully I have enough room on this index paper. If not, I'll get another one on here. Okay, there's one. Okay, now we're going to go a different direction, about halfway through. I think I was pressing that down too hard. I'm trying to do it really lightly. Okay, there we go. Oh no, we're not listening to Christmas music right now. No, 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 no. This is called The River, but we're not going to play that. It sounds like Christmas music. We are not going to Christmas right now. No, no, no. Okay, so there's the B. So the B is a little bit darker than the HB going over it the second time. And then right here, I don't know, for some reason the HB looks darker here. It's possible that my hand may have touched that without my gloves. And that's what that does. It changes the color of it. Okay, so now we're going to use the 2B. Okay, we're going to do the same thing. And this is so you can get to know your pencils of how dark they can go. And on each paper, it will be different because the index papers are very, very smooth. If you work with paper that is rigid, it will take more graphite off your pencil. So just keep that in mind. That's why they say it was important for you to practice with different paper so you can get to learn what it does before you start using it. Okay, and then this one is 3B. So we're going to do 3B. Same thing. Lightly, we're just going to continue going on here. And we're going to go back to halfway. Very lightly. And so you can see the difference on how that changes. I'm trying to get it to where this light just stops glaring. There you go. You guys see that now? See how the F looks lighter for some reason? And I'm using the same hand pressure. I'm not changing anything. I found that out that it does that every once in a while, so I'm very careful when I'm working with my drawings. Alright, so I'm going to leave this down here, and I'm going to gradually do it instead of holding it and pressing it against my pencil. So I'm going to gradually use the 4B. Keep going, keep going. Okay, then I'm going to go back, and I'm going to go the other direction. And we're stopped. You see how much darker that is? How darker it's getting? Okay, now I have the 6B. Most of these I'm hoping they're all sharp, so that way they're ready to use. So when I'm using them like this though, I sometimes, when I'm drawing, I rotate the pencil so it keeps the point form on it. And then I'm going to go back again the opposite direction or so, and I'm going to go over it again halfway. I'm going to stop, and you can see how it's gradually changing. Now this last one, the 8B, I don't have sharpened. I need to sharpen it. Now I have to be careful when I do this. The point of it broke. It broke off. I don't know if I still have it in here. I do, slightly. But I have that in there. And they're so soft, they break so easily, so you have to be really, really careful. So here we go. There's a sound that my pencil sharpener takes, or makes, and it tells me when it's done sharpening. And so look at that point. So I have to be careful with this one especially, because if it taps on something, it will shatter. Alright, so we're going to do the 8B here. I think I'll be able to fit them all. There's another spot here because I have another pencil. It's not the same brand, but it's similar. It's a graphite, and we're going to use that one too. So here's the 8B. I'm going to hold it from way back, and I'm going to gradually go across. Okay, I'm going to stop out there. Now I'm going to go back again a different direction and go about halfway without pressing hard. And this is how I use my pencils. Okay, where's the other one at? I have the other one here. Hold on. Here it is. Okay, so here's the other one I have. It's Cretacolor. And this one is from Austria. Right here it says Austria. I don't think I have the autocorrect, not auto, but autofocus. So here we go. Here's the, come on, focus. You just focused a second ago. Come on. Alright, so it wants to go crazy on me. There we go. Austria. So this is a 9B. This is the one I was talking about without the wood grain that's on it. And I have a really sharp point on it right now. You see that? Alright, so let me put this back on auto and see what it does. So we're going to put a 9B down here. And same thing, I'm going to hold it from way back here, because when I hold it back here, I don't have so much control. So I don't want to do that. And I just want to lightly just bring it all the way back. And it's very, very soft wet. And then I'm going to go over this part again. And you can see how the colors just change on it. See all those? Now I'm going to go back. I'm going to use each one again, but I'm going to press harder. And I'm going to just make a line down there. So let me grab my 6H. And I'm going to press a little bit harder. So you can see that it actually does go a little bit darker depending on how hard you press. Okay. Then we're going to grab the 2H. We're going to do the same thing. And we're going to go back the other direction, same thing. And grab the F. I'm going to press harder on that one too, same way. And then I'm going to go back the other direction, same thing. Oops, let me read this out a little bit more. I'm going to take close on that one, huh? The next one's HB. Excuse me. And then we're going to bring it back again. This is really, really good practice, like I said. Make sure I have the right one. We're going to do the B. And I'm pressing harder this time. Mantle Maven! How are you? You just got home? Well, thank you for stopping by. This usually isn't a Thursday, but I'm doing a Thursday drawing session. And I'm showing the process of using our graphite pencils. I am doing techniques today. I wanted to do them yesterday, but I had to go out of town. So I'm doing Thursday today. And so I want to teach different techniques to work with your pencils. And I'm working with my Kimberly graphite drawing kit. And this is what I've been using for the past year. And so I want to show everybody how I use them and how you can use them doing different techniques. Right now I'm doing the shading part, and I thought this would only take an hour, but it's taking a little bit longer, which is fine. And I'm going to show other techniques, not just the shading like this. I'm going to show other techniques on how to use it. Okay, so what I did was I have all these graphite pencils that I have. And I also bought new ones. I have a 9B that's not included in this package. There is a 6H that's not included in the package. So I'm showing just by holding it way back, not having the control, and just lightly going over it one time. And the one time, half of this is the one time, but then going back over, doing it again, but halfway, you can see how much it actually changes the tone of your drawing. So what you've missed, you can always go back on the video. It'll only be there for a couple weeks, but I'm going to try to get it on YouTube. That way it's there forever. So I'm going to continue working on this, but on this time, on this side, I'm just pressing a little bit harder so you guys can see what it actually does and how much darker it can actually go. Now the B's are harder to actually push down because the softer they go, they can break on you. So you have to be very careful. So that was my 2B. So let me get my 3B in here. So I use an electric sharpener, but I also have these sharpeners, is what I was telling everybody earlier. And because my carpal tunnel, I use the electric sharpener, but I just bought another pencil. It's graphite. I can't locate it right now, but I need it for this one to sharpen it. So I found my other sharpener. I found this one, so I can use it when I need it. So here's the 3B. I'm going to do the same thing. I'm trying to just set this down and not hold it because it's different when I'm holding it and then pressing on it, and you have two forces going, and which is not good. Yes, it is great practice. And what I was saying is also any type of paper that you want to go use for a drawing and it's different from what you're normally using, you want to do this technique for a sample so you know what your pencils will do with that paper, with that particular drawing paper. So it is very important that you do this. Okay, so I'm going to do the 3B, and I'm pressing harder like I did with the other ones.